thanks for watching. I was on this little kick of piping some flowered cupcakes, so I really wanted to do the daffodil. The daffodil is one of the most fun ones to do, and I think a lot of people are afraid of it just because of the middle section of it. Let's accomplish this. This is easy. 352 is the first tip I'm going to use with the green. This is kind of a bird's beak shape on the leaf. There's some other leaf tips, but this is kind of one of my favorites, and I think it looks really good with this because the leaf is a little bit elongated. And all I'm going to do, you want to make sure that your points are up and down instead of laying on their side, so up and down, and you're basically just going to pipe a couple of these to start with, and just make sure you end with a point. And we're going to go back after we pipe the flower and really finish these off, but this is just going to have something that the petals are going to lay onto, so it gives it a little bit more depth. All right, so we'll just set that aside for now. And then I'm going to pick up my yellow, and again, this is Buttercream, and I'm using a tip 61. It's fat on the one end and thin on the other. Probably a tip 104 would work just as well, but this is just kind of one of my favorite tips. So this has 6 petals. A daffodil always has 6 petals, which is kind of odd in nature, but it's what this flower always has. So what we're going to do is start the middle and basically do a loop up and then straight back down. It's very elongated. And then just for symmetry, I want to make sure that I go absolutely opposite that, 100 degrees opposite, and do the exact same thing. So very elongated and right back to the center. And then I'm going to do 2 in the center of those and 2 in the center on this side as well. So I'm just going to try to evenly space those and do the same elongated and back to the center loop. And then the second one here. And then on the opposite side, I'm going to put 2 in the center of these. 1, or maybe going way far up and then straight back down. Now, the thing that differentiates the daffodil from a lot of other flowers is it has a point on the end of the flowers. We obviously don't have that with this tip. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of water and kind of pull on the end of a brush and kind of pull this forward a little bit to the peak, and then kind of pinch it with our fingers. And it's going to elongate that tip just a bit to where it comes to a point. And then we'll do that again, dipping it in the water with all 6 of these. And then elongating this to a tip. Same thing here. Just kind of drawing that out with the water on the brush a little bit and then pinching it with my fingertips. All right, get a little more water on my brush, pulling this out and pinching with the fingertips, and it brings it to a point. That's a little bit too much. Let me pull a little of that off, okay? And then last one. Oh, that's number 5. All right, this is the last one. Here we go. Pulling that to a tip and then pinching it to a point. Okay, and then what we're going to do is switch our yellow. I have a coupler in this, so it's really easy to unscrew this tip. And I'm going to switch to a number 5, which is a little bit of a larger round tip for the center. Just screw that right back down. Okay. And this is basically, I'm just kind of building a cylinder. So the first row is just going to be a circle, and then I'm just going to build on top of that, just going around and around like 4 or 5 times until I have a nice tall center. And then the edge of that frills a little bit. So I'm going to switch my number 5 round tip to a number 3. You could even use a number 2 if you wanted to. But putting that on top of the coupler, and then around the edge of this, I'm just going to do kind of a, not a real sharp zigzag, but a wavy zigzag right around the edge. And that's kind of how the daffodil frills. And then, there's a little point there. We can finish it off with a few more leaves. So I'm going to grab my green again with the 352 and just kind of fill in here where those spaces are in between the petals, like so. Just bringing them to a point. And that really sets off that flower to have that greenery in there. But that's the daffodil. I think it's really easy to pipe. This can go right on the cupcake. You can also do them just in buttercream on a little square of wax paper and then move it with your flower lifters. Also, you can do it just as easily in royal icing with the same tips. So I hope you'll give it a try. It's a really fun flower to do. It looks very, very festive and spring-like. So I hope you have fun with it. Thanks for watching.